that history will come to an end, and that it will end with the triumph of truth over all rivals. Allah says in the Quran, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله وكفى بالله شهيدا. He it is who has sent his messenger Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam with the guidance and with the deen, or the way of life of al-haq, of truth, al-Islam, that it might prevail over all rivals, that it might prevail over all rivals. History cannot end without the fulfillment, for the last time, of this divine statement, that truth will prevail over all rivals. History will end with a last age. Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam described that last age to us as the age of fitan, of great tests and of trials. That it is the day of judgment. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses Adam alayhi salam, our father, and says to him, take out the people for Jahannam. And Adam alayhi salam asks, how many are they, O Allah? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala replies, and he says, out of every 1,000, take 999 for the hellfire. The companions of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam were terrified. He looked upon them and he smiled. And he said, good news for you. The one for Jannah will be from you. Meaning, people who worship Allah and who follow Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam and who have faith in this Quran. But then he went on to say that the 999 would all be the people of Gog and Magog, Ya'juj and Ma'juj. So when Akhiru Zaman comes and you see the evidence of Gog and Magog, you know that mankind is heading for the hellfire, and only 1 in 1,000 can escape. And so it is such a pity that nobody knows the subject of Gog and Magog. Nobody. Dajjal has deceived mankind. Ikhwan al-Muslimun in Egypt, I feel so sad for them. They don't understand the shirk of the modern age. We have explained it to them. They will not accept. Allah gave us a system of political organization. He gave it to us. The Khilafah and Darul Islam. A system of political organization which recognize Allah as Al-Malik, the sovereign, which recognize Allah as Al-Akbar, the supreme authority, which recognize Allah as Al-Hakam, the one whose law is the supreme law. What they did was to destroy the Khilafah, and the process was a long one. They first of all took the Khilafah out of the Arab world and took it up to a non-Arab city of Constantinople, where it remained for years and years and years and years and years and years, until the foundations of the Khilafah in the Arab world had been lost. And then they abolished the Khilafah in Istanbul. And then the Arabs made a last-ditch effort to restore the Khilafah. It lasted for only a month or two before Britain turned to Ibn Saud, Abdulaziz Ibn Saud, to destroy it. And he dutifully destroyed it. And the Khilafah is gone. Nobody weeps anymore over the loss of the Khilafah. And then Dajjal brought a substitute. And that substitute that he brought to replace the Khilafah was built firmly on the foundations of shirk, the modern republican state, which came out of Dajjal's modern Western civilization, with his parliament. Dajjal gave us the modern secular state, which then embraced the whole world, which declared that Allah is no longer Al-Malik. No, the state is now Al-Malik. The state has sovereignty. Sovereignty resides in the state, not with Allah. Is that not shirk? And the states get together to form an international organization called the United Nations Organization. And the United Nations Organization has a Security Council. And the Charter of the United Nations declares that supreme authority in the world, in all matters pertaining to international peace and security, reside with the Security Council. That's shirk. Allah can make it haram, like lending money on interest, riba. We can make it halal, and if you step out of this hotel, you see all the banks around lending money on interest. If you make halal what Allah made haram, or if you make haram what Allah made halal, then according to the verse of Surah At-Tawbah, we don't have the time to narrate it for you, this is shirk. And so welcome to Akhirul Zaman. The heart will no longer feel the shirk. It's like the naked woman in the shopping malls. The first time you saw her, dressed and yet naked, you thought the sky was going to fall. But then, day after day after day after day, now you can go to the shopping mall and you can have a nice lunch in the shopping mall with your family and son, and the nakedness will be all around you. No, it wouldn't affect you. Withdraw from that society. This is our response. What does Surah Al-Kahf say? In Surah Al-Kahf, we have the story of the young men who had faith. And it is instructive that Allah chooses young men. And they live in a society which, like today's society, is worshipping other than Allah. These young men stood up and proclaimed the truth to their people. But they didn't like it. And the people targeted them. What did the young men do? Did they choose to remain in that society? No. They fled. Allah says, وَإِذِ اعْتَزَلْتُمُوهُمْ, when you turn away from them, وَمَا يَعْبُدُونَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ, and from that which they worship other than Allah, فَأْوُوا إِلَى الْكَهْفِ, take refuge in the cave. يَنْشُرْ لَكُمْ رَبُّكُمْ مِنْ رَحْمَتِهِ, Allah will shower His rahmah upon you. وَيُحَيِّئْ لَكُمْ مِنْ أَمْرِكُمْ مِرْفَقًا, and whatever be your outward condition, Allah will endow you with that which you need.